So, over the last couple weeks, I'm sure that you guys are all aware of the Bitcoin versus XRP nonsense. I did make a video earlier today regarding, the whole Bitcoin versus XRP sort of, discussion that's going around. I want you guys to understand what's actually happening in this space because I feel as though, we are wasting so much time, so much energy, and a lot of just, a lot of these conversations lead us nowhere. It's just the same back and forth. All right, XRP's this, XRP's that, Bitcoin's this, I want us to all focus on the facts here. I want us to actually focus on what's going on. Regardless of if we love Bitcoin or not, it's very clear that utility is the focus right now. I do think that this whole XRP versus Bitcoin idea, and I think that all of the talk about Bitcoin is just one big distraction from what really does matter. Now, in this video, I actually want to address what's going on right now in the EU. In fact, the ECB, they have officially confirmed what's about to happen. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you guys are not aware, yes, Caleb and Brown, one of the best exchanges out there. Guys, go sign up. Try this exchange out. 24/7 customer support. Best exchange for US-based investors. And guess what? Fully regulated. Completely regulated exchange. Try it out. If you don't like it, stop using it. If you guys like it, hey, maybe it'll become your new favorite exchange. I have a link down in the description below. Check them out. I have been using them for a little bit of time now, and I have been liking what I am seeing. So, hey, maybe it's going to be one of your new favorite exchanges. Now, with that being said, let's talk about what's happening in the EU. Number one, we continue to see major delistings of Tether. Now, Kraken was one exchange. If we go all the way back to like May of 2024, Kraken was an exchange that was discussing the possibility of delisting Tether and other stablecoins actually in the EEA area. And this is by March 31st. Now, what's crazy about this is, like I said, we have been focused on this for a little bit of time, and we didn't think it was going to happen because, again, like I said, Kraken was one of the first major exchanges to start kind of tossing this idea around, like, what are we going to do? We know Mika's coming into place, and now we have confirmation that they're going to be delisting Tether and additional stablecoins. I believe that PayPal's stablecoin was also one that was included in that by March 31st. This is very significant, and I want you guys to understand that, Tether is a big player behind Bitcoin. Most people don't want to admit it, but Bitcoin has been inflated by Tether. Don't take my word for it. You could do a little bit of research and find this out for yourselves. Tether is still not transparent on their financial backing. Crypto.com is also delisting Tether in the EU. This was on the 29th. This got announced on the 31st. So we're seeing all of these major exchanges delisting Tether in the EU area. Now, this is because of the Mika regulations. I question what's going to happen with US stablecoin regulations because they are on their way. We know that they're on their way. But outside of this, we just saw the XRP RLUSD AMM. This pool just went live. And if we look at it, we could see that there is $1.1 million in liquidity. We could also see that there is over almost $1 million in 24-hour trading volume, about 2.3K transactions, about 1.3K swaps, and 805 contributors. Very exciting stuff. Now, this is just a start, obviously. I have been focused on the volume around the stablecoin. This has been surging lately. We're at about almost $14 million. It might not be as significant to some people out there in terms of this amount, but I do think that this is a great start. Now, in terms of the traders, this has also been increasing, and also the holders have also been increasing. Almost 10,000 holders about roughly 1,000 traders. But I do think that RLUSD is about to increase greatly. Now, a lot of people will say, well, isn't all of these delistings for USDT technically very good for RLUSD? No, because remember that RLUSD, even though it is technically MiCA compliant, we're still looking at Euro stablecoins. Now, I do think that, yes, it's technically beneficial for RLUSD, but I'm looking at this, which is Societe Generale's backed USV stablecoin. Mind you, this is going to be rolled out this year on the XRP Ledger, and it's already on Ethereum and Solana, but I do think that on the XRP Ledger, it's going to grow significantly because Societe Generale does have a partnership with Ripple with their custody service. Now, this got announced back in November, but like I said, it's going live this year. What a perfect time to have this go live at the same exact time that Tether, the biggest stablecoin out there, is being delisted from this market. Interesting. Now, like I said, the whole Bitcoin versus XRP conversation has become very annoying. Let's just be honest here. Zero value coming from it. But we have to talk about a few things. Number one, we have over here. Now, this is from Digital Asset Investor. He's still saying lock in Bitcoin maxis. It's time for the Stellar Org and Ripple show. You had your turn, and most equals suck anyways. Now, again, I'm not going to come at Bitcoiners or, Ethereum maxis or anything like that, but I will say this, and I'm only going to say it once in this video. The focus isn't Bitcoin, it's utility. Focus on utility. Check this out. One second. I have to restart the video.
If you think about what this is just a simple technology. What this technology does is it has a source of truth. It has ability to execute smart contracts. So things that we've written into a document, and somebody's got to go check and go settle and do this and that, can get programmed in, and it has a way to pay. That actually is a massive threat to huge financial institutions who act as those roles. And so what you have is a lot of sort of the traditional, you have some traditional firms who are merely trying to figure out how to leverage the technology to do what they do today. I'll give you an example. DTCC settles transactions, securities. They're working on just using blockchain as the source of truth in settlement. They should kind of be thinking about atomic settlement where the moment the trade happens, the dollars, the smart contract executes and the dollars transact. Because that's actually what's going to happen. And then I think you have institutions, and I think hopefully this is what we're doing at Franklin Templeton, is we're trying to sit there and say, okay, with this technology, imagine where you do have atomic settlement on transactions, where you don't need to validate. Oftentimes a bank is in between to validate the two parties. I know that when I trade with JP Morgan, that they're making sure that whoever's on the other side is going to pay me. They're standing in for that. If it settles automatically, you don't need that validation. So you have parties who are thinking about what does atomic settlement mean to my business model? In our case, we built on the Stellar blockchain our money market fund, where we have the record keeping, and we're the only ones who are actually running a public transactions on blockchain. There's others shadowing it. We're actually settling them on the chain. And so over time, as you can start to have people making payments leveraging this yield coin, then and maybe you hold it for 5 hours. Shouldn't you get 5 hours worth of yield?
Now, on top of this, I'm only going to play this little part of this video that I posted back in December. Listen closely to what Jenny Johnson is saying here as well.
Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services.
So there you guys have it. She literally told you that Bitcoin is the greatest distraction. Now, on top of this, the ECB did confirm that the EU will not hold Bitcoin as reserves. And I do not care what anyone says about this. We know the facts and we know the connections. We're going to go over it, but listen closely.
On this matter that you referred to, and whether reserves of central bank should or could include Bitcoins, I think there is a view around the table of the Governing Council, and most likely the General Council as well, that reserves have to be liquid, that reserves have to be secure, that they have to be safe, that they should not be plagued by the suspicion of money laundering or other criminal activities. And as a result, I'm confident that reserves will not enter, that bitcoins will not enter the reserves of any of the central banks of the General Council. I had a good conversation with my colleague from the Czech Republic, and I leave it to him to make whatever announcement he wants to make, but I'm confident that he's convinced, as we all are, of the necessity to have liquid, secure, and safe reserves. Thank you.
Now, I don't care what any Bitcoin maxi says here. They want safe, liquid, and also stable. They want stable currencies and things of value in their reserves. I've said it before. Even the ECB is confirming with this statement that Bitcoin is not a store of value because it loses 70 to 80% of its value in a bear market. This is very crucial to focus on. Now, on top of this, if you followed what Lagarde has said over the years, this should not come as a surprise to you whatsoever. She has been highly consistent in her critique of Bitcoin. Big shout to Anderson for this. On the other hand, one company the ECB and Lagarde have been close with and even praised is Ripple. Just look at the circumstances. The chair of the BIS Cross-Border Payments Interoperability and Extension Task Force is Ulrich Binseil from the ECB. This is the same task force Ripple is a part of, but it doesn't end there. When we look at Ulrich, he also appeared at Ripple Swell in 2020 as a keynote speaker. He also criticized Bitcoin to a great degree on an ECB blog post saying Bitcoin is costly, slow, and inconvenient. Facts. Lagarde, who is now the head of the ECB, has been no stranger to Ripple. She once praised Ripple and Circle as disruptors at Paris FinTech Forum in 2019. USDC is now the go-to stablecoin for MiCA compliance in the EU. She appeared at the famous 9th High-Level Conference on International Monetary System when she was the manager director of the IMF in a room full of central bankers and Augustin Carstens, head of BIS, where Brad Garlinghouse also pitched Ripple's technology to the whole room as the last speaker. Brad started off by thanking Christine Lagarde, amongst two others, for being included. Pay attention to the details. And by the way, that's where this image comes from, where you do have Brad on the right, and you also have Christine Lagarde. But also, XRP Ledger fulfills certain core attributes that is important to the EU market, such as energy efficiency. Have you figured out how energy efficiency now has been risen even more in importance after the war in the Ukraine started? This is also a major reason to their dislike of Bitcoin. It uses up a ton of energy. Don't try to argue why Bitcoin mining leads to more efficient allocation of energy production. That argument won't work. This is just scratching the surface, but it could or should be clear to any thinker that Ripple, along with the XRP Ledger, is one of a few companies and assets in the crypto space the ECB would actively work with and support, and not Bitcoin. There were talks of ECB trialing Ripple with their CBDC platform for a digital euro, but the details surrounding this is sparse as of now. And here we actually have the full breakdown of the CPMI group. We have the European Central Bank. We also have Ripple tied back to this. And also, here we have Ripple Swell 2020. Ulrich, again, he is the main chair here. And also, here we have Bitcoin is costly, slow, and inconvenient. And this goes all the way back to February 22nd of 2024 with Ulrich, of course.
The difference.
And then here we also have the Paris FinTech Forum with Christine Lagarde. Check it out.
The difference will not be between those who are disrupted and those who survive, but it will be between those who are cannibalized because they are not seeing it coming and they're not embracing it, and those who self-induce that cannibalization. And I'm using cannibalization on purpose because it's a bit of a striking, horrible word. But it's really what it means. It's you're going to disrupt your business model, you're going to change it, you're going to reduce your cost, you're going to expedite your transactions, and you're going to continue to inspire confidence because you will build that on the basis of an existing backbone, which is your bank and the confidence relationship that you've established with your customers. So that's where I see changes happening now. If you think of Circle and Ripples and all those, that's where they are active and helpful.
And, you know, again, when you have someone like Christine Lagarde praising the technology, praising those names, having these, being a part of these discussions with these players, years back, it does mean a lot today when we are starting to see everything coming together. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but listen, if we step back, is it really that insane to think that all of this is aligning perfectly for utility to take over this space? It's very clear by a lot of these moves, by a lot of these, announcements, that we are about to see a shift in this space. And we're watching this closely. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.